I got married in Cape Town at 21, and when I was 35, we left South Africa and emigrated to Vancouver. After some years, a woman came from South Africa and visited us, and she was being physically abused by her husband. I felt a kinship to her, and so it was through her that I disclosed my secret. I had been sexually abused by our family doctor for 16 years. I was in so much pain having disclosed that secret that I was drinking every day, and my husband noticed and said, "I'm not leaving this house today until you tell me what's going on." And so I told him, and what seemed like the end was really just the beginning. I started going downhill, and I was really reaching out in all the wrong places looking for love, which led me to the affair that I had. I caused a lot of hurt to a lot of people, and I've had to live with that, the consequences of that. I was then in the psychiatric ward every year for the next 4 years, heavily medicated, had shock treatment for depression, and lots and lots of therapy, group therapies, all types of things. Whatever they offered me, I took. I decided to do. I really wanted to get well. When I was 17 years sober, I wasn't doing well again. I felt lost. And I went to a friend and I told her that I was feeling that way. And she handed me a CD of someone by the name of Joyce Meyer. And she said, "Listen to this." And I was blown away by Joyce and her story. At the same time as I was listening to Joyce, a movie came into the movie theaters here called Son of God. I watched the movie and I was in tears. I had never heard the story of Jesus before. I did not know what had happened to Jesus. And so when the movie ended, I stood up and I said, "Why did no one tell me this? I believe that this is true." And I left that movie theater to tell somebody I knew in my 12-step program who was a Christian. And she said, "Patsy, I've been praying for you for so long, and I suggest you do the Alpha course." And so in April of 2014, Alpha started. Lo and behold, there was that cool pastor, Pastor Allen. I was put into his group, and I was so happy to be there. Turned out I got into a life group through that first Alpha I did, but I was a little embarrassed at that time to say I was going to church. After a few weeks, Pastor Dave said, "If there's anybody here today who would like to give their lives to Jesus, just follow me with this prayer." And while I was in the middle of praying, inviting Jesus into my life, I felt these two hands on my shoulders. So I turned around and there was nobody there. And so I knew that Jesus was right there with his hands on my shoulders. It was the most incredible experience. I know today that it was the thing that I was craving most, and I tried to fill that hole with so many different things. But there's only one thing to fill a God-sized hole with, and that is God. I'm just so grateful that Coastal Church introduced me to Jesus in a big way. I am a Jew, and I will always be a Jew, and I follow Jesus. People who've been through experiences like I have been, they need to know that recovery is completely possible, that in fact anything is possible with God, and that Jesus died on that cross to pay for our sin, my sin, your sin. If you'd been the only person walking the earth, Jesus would have died for you. And so I cannot say enough about how my life has been transformed with the miracle of knowing Jesus.